Hello, people. What's going on? I thought I would do this quick one on green giants, gamma rays, and the plasma apocalypse. This will be a very quick one because I want to get some ideas together and redub this in a second. I think because as I do these, I always do these kind of off the cuff, and I don't really have anything planned, but I had a couple ideas. So I will give the first part to this, and this is a connection to a lot of things that I've known about, and I didn't see what connection they had, but now I see. So the idea of gamma rays and the Incredible Hulk, or do you remember like Jack and the Beanstalk, or the Giants, the Green Giant? If you look at it, he was always connected to corn. First it was peas, and then it was corn. There's a big connection to corn, and especially the last major event too, and the Mayans and what that has to do with the illusion and the corn, which I'll get into deeper in the next video. But I wanted to just basically touch on the idea of what the gamma rays are, what gamma is. And I'm looking fucking white right now, like glowing white. I gotta go outside in the sun. I gotta get some sun. It's basically your brain waves, and there's a very easy way to get yourself into gamma. And we'll talk about it in the next video about the connection to as within, so without, as above, so below, and the actual the aurora borealis and nature in general, and the harmonics of the color green. But essentially, it's this that the breath. To get yourself into a gamma state, you have to go through 4 cycles. Funny enough, it's always 4 cycles, the epochs. These ages, excuse me. The Bronze Age, the silver, the bronze, the iron, the bronze, the silver, and the gold, which are akin to the alpha breath, the beta, the theta, and the delta. And then, by doing those breaths in an order, you produce gamma waves, rays in your brain. It's very simple. I'll just walk you through it. The first thing you need to do is breathe out all the way until you can't breathe out anymore. And then as soon as you don't think you breathe out anymore, keep breathing out. And you're compressing where your dantian, your belly button is. Your first breath is in your mouth, as deep as you can, and you're breathing into your diaphragm, into your belly like a baby would. You're not breathing in your chest. You're not using your lungs. You're pulling it in here. So after you breathe out, it's going to pull in there anyways. Then out of your mouth, in your mouth, and out of your nose, then in your nose, and then out of your nose, and in your nose, then out of your mouth, then in your mouth, and out of your mouth. And that's the whole cycle through. You'll do that 3 or 4 times until you start to get into an area where you're forgetting what breath you did. But the more you do it, the more you'll become akin to the being in that brainwave. And a lot of people think it's being out of breath, but it's actually in the same way that Wim Hof teaches people how to over-oxygenate their body. You're not over-oxygenating, you're actually getting it up to the proper levels of how much oxygen you should, if that's what you want to call it, or ether, or energy into your body. And so you go through that, and that gets you into gamma waves, gamma rays. And that will help the beginning part. That's the connection to your body. And I'm going to do a 9. I think because it seems to be that the 21st of this year, 21st, the 24th, and the 26th of December are pretty interesting dates for a lot of reasons. Everybody's got all the end times, apocalypse, blah, blah, blah. But this has nothing to do with, it's not good, bad, and different. This is just how energies function. So I'm not going to go into like, oh, that's the end of the world. It's nothing like that. But I do think that people will be able to access different levels of their innate power that they already have, which are, see, the things that I'm going to do. I think 90 days out, I will start to do maybe like a weekly, or even more than a weekly lesson for you guys on on some practices and some things, and eating, fasting, breathing, etc., etc. So that way you can get into the dream world, because the dream world is basically just it's another training ground for what goes on here. Imagine right now if you could levitate. Well, you can in the dream world, so why wouldn't you be able to here if you knew what you were doing? You can fly in the dream world. You can do all sorts of things in the dream world you don't seem to be able to do here now. But it is my contention that if you can dream it, you can become it. You know, that kind of idea. And there will be certain organic things that will happen in this realm, and other realms that will be flooding energy into this realm will give you those types of superpowers. And I wouldn't call them superpowers. I think they're just, people say you have DNA that is, some will call it junk DNA. Some will say it's unused. Some will say it's dormant. I would say you have dormant DNA. Because, you know, there's some people that they're very clairvoyant. They're very this, they're very that. They have, you know, whether you believe it or not, people can move things with energy from their hand or from their mind. So those things that you already have, and what will occur, it seems very likely that people that are not in tune at all with reality, with their body, with this realm, with the earth, with being grounded, with having a cleansed body, that their rapture or whatever, they'll just go to another realm. I don't know about what that will look like for them. I do suppose it will be to float off into oblivion, into another realm. Maybe a higher realm, maybe a lower realm. I don't know. But for people that have cleansed their blood plasma, as I was talking about before, the plasma apocalypse has to do with your blood plasma as well. You have blood plasma, and if it's dirty, very dirty, then you know that's going to be a pain in the ass, probably. If it's cleansed and you've cleansed your blood, then it will have no effect on you. Higher levels of energies will have different effects on different metals and salts and things. So if your body is, this is why I was always very skeptical about putting certain things in your body now, like gold, silver, bronze, iridium, platinum. I was always very skeptical of this. Skeptical. I still don't know, but to me it seems like those things, they seem like they won't. They seem like they should be out there in, like, as automobiles or this or that. And those things, according to a lot of people in a lot of the movies and what you're looking at, is those metals will get sucked out of this realm, at least for the most part, and then drop back down. So, do you want those things in your body? Especially especially iron. I think most of the iron will be sucked out of this realm. So if it's in your body, you don't want it there. I would get rid of it. And so the idea of fasting and cleansing and keeping your blood plasma clean, you won't have to deal with. Well, I think what will happen is, like, have you ever done a fast? Have you ever had the flu? The flu is literally what's going to happen. A flu is the idea of a chimney. Funny enough, if you connect all this together, and I'm not making just random connections here. The fireplace is always connected to Santa Claus. It's connected to the middle of the North Pole, the center pole. And when you flue the chimney, it opens up the chimney to let things out, to let all the garbage out. So if you're burning wood, you're letting all the toxic residue and shit out. So you just get the heat of the fire, right? So when you get the flu, you're literally pushing things out of your body. It doesn't feel good. Your body gets hot. You get very warm, and it will come out as a sickness. It will look like a sickness. Some people won't be able to handle it. Other people won't get sick at all. So if you do the proper things to cleanse now and take your little, day, couple hour here, couple hours there of just not feeling great because your organs are cleansing, your body's cleansing, I think that's probably the correct route to go. Where if you are just completely out of shape and not in touch with anything to do with your feelings, your body, this earth, then those people, I think, will probably end up becoming part of the landscape of the soil or go off into another realm. So if you want to chill out and have superpowers on this realm, then start to do the things that will get you in line with that. And one of the big things about the reason I've always suggested people to get into the dream world, to lucid dream, to have out-of-body experiences, is because those things are, in essence, what you'd be doing anyways. Especially getting out of body, that's what another energy of your body. So if we're going to another energetic system, that energetic system is something inside of you. So you basically would be like a snake shedding its skin, to use that analogy. So you get a new body. This would all go, your next version of you would come out, which is basically your spirit body, or your, I don't know if you go directly to spirit body, but I think you go through those levels of how do you access superpowers. Either the realm is fertile to the kind of people within it. Dense heavy people seem like they would go down. Light people, if they're super light, they might float. I don't know. But it does seem like whatever's in your body, just like when you're a flu. See, a flu isn't even a sickness if you really understood it. The flu, people don't get the flu. You don't get a cold. You don't get that. Your body is full of shit, and so the flu is actually your body saying, "Hey, you got to get rid of this stuff. Let's burn this off." And so it gets rid of all the shit that would cause you more sickness later. It's the idea that, if you've never heard of this, where people that don't get chicken pox as a child because they were vaccinated against and they had all of this, stuffed things in their body, they get shingles later in life, which is no good. So if you keep repressing that shit and you just don't like get the cold, get cold, or have the flu, which is to heat up and burn off shit in your body. So that's the idea. So take your little bit here and there, do a fast, get the juices in the body, go out and get some sunshine so you're not glowing like me. So I'm going to go outside in like an hour. I think it should be nice. About 2 o'clock. It's like 95 now. So I got to do a little bit of heat. But as I've always said, I'd rather have the heat than the cold. So yeah, I'm gonna redub this video for everybody and go deeper into that. And we'll talk about why to get into the dream world deeper. We'll talk about fasting. We'll talk about post-apocalypse awesomeness. And yeah. What's up, Naveed? Yeah. Other ways to change mental states from beta to alpha to theta to... So it would go from, beta... It goes from beta, alpha, theta, delta. BAT D. Or delta is the lowest of the frequencies. And then gamma is the highest. And then there's zeta and epsilon, but that's different stuff. Other ways to get your mind there, some people like to do repetitive meditations. Get your 108 mala beads, or some people go into like this whole thing in their brain that starts to keep your left brain busy while your right brain becomes imaginative, and that causes a little bit of. But that, I think, can cause a little bit of still stark contrast between the two brains, where I think they're supposed to be connected. Mostly it's breathing exercises. There's things have a drink. I don't know. Some people smoke weed. Some people drink. Some people like to run, take a jog. I don't like jogging. I think jogging is a foolish endeavor. If you want to run, go run. But if that's going to get you there, some people like cycling. Some people like taking walks. Take a walk. That motion of walking keeps the brain balanced, and it'll put the breathing pattern in a good version, in a good. The breathing pattern when you're walking will naturally find its rhythm and pace, and so will your body. And that keeps the whole system in line. Some people read books, but I've noticed some people, when they're doing things on the computer, reading books or watching a movie, they become anxious and they stop breathing. Some people get too involved in books, and their breathing pattern gets really bad. Other people, when you see them, they're just sitting there relaxed reading because they're into the story, their breathing pattern is very regular, and that will put them in a different brain state. I can't tell you exactly what those brain waves are because I'm not hooking these people up to EEGs or whatever. Yeah, there you go. Besides the breathing pattern or meditation, I actually want to pattern change the brain wave while we're awake. Well, yeah, substances. Substances always can do that. Music. All the normal things we do, but if we do it with if we geared towards like, why are we listening to this? Oh, I'm getting, okay, because the breathing pattern is going to be really what does it. That's why they say the breath is spirit, right? Everything, you can do without food for over 40 days. You can do without water for maybe a week. You can do without oxygen for how long? 5 minutes. So that seems to me more important than the other two. So if we go backwards, what's the most essential thing? Like, there would be that. So whatever. So think about, like, smoking something changes your brainwave patterns immediately. Ingesting something takes a little longer. Drinking something is a little shorter. So those kind of things. I mean, I'll think about it a little longer. I don't know what kind of Naveed. I don't know what else you're asking for. You know. I mean, brainwaves can be changed in many different ways. Play a drum. I mean, these are all just like simple little tap your foot, you know. But don't do it nervously. Don't do it out of not paying attention. But, like, you know, there's little things you can do that just change because your breathing pattern and your brain waves will control your heartbeat. So these things it's not the other way around. Your lungs, so your breathing pattern, which are your lungs, and your brain waves are connected, and your heartbeat is after that. Naveed, the way we receive compact data. What's up, Instance? Man, I'm having what's up, Jim and Awake? I'm having a little bit of deciphering issue, Naveed, on what you mean, the way we receive compact data. Like how to unload data into the way our inner talk stops and observes prop. Yeah. I mean, how to be in that zone of no thing, that place, the emptiness where you're almost in a meditation where you don't need to breathe. I mean, I don't really know what other ways to do it other than the standard practices that have probably been delivered by every yogi, mystic, guru, shaman. I don't really. If I can think, I'll meditate on it for you, man. I don't know though. Never really thought that much about it. Emptiness but meaningful intuition. Yes, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, well, so here you go. Let's go back to the basics. As I'll always say, everybody says you have a gut instinct. Well, most people's gut is full of shit, right? So this is why people are full of shit, because they literally don't have an instinct in their gut. It's all full of garbage. So unless you clean out your organs, well, fuck your organs. Let's just start with cleaning out your colon, because that's the river to life or the river to death. So if that's not clean, what could you possibly have as a natural intuition or instinct? You won't. I mean, you will, because it will be there, but it will be so murky and clouded by all of that you won't be able to. It's changing what you believe hunger to be. And so by cleaning that out, understanding what hunger actually is, I mean, you got hunger and thirst. Thirst is what most people are. Most people are thirsty. Ain't nobody really hungry. There's not really any people really starving out there. If we're gonna get really deep on that idea, people don't starve. People are thirsty. But people, how many fat people you know that are void of nutrition? Because they keep eating, feeding up their body. They're not drinking enough water. They're not breathing right. They're just sticking shit into their body. So those people are hungry because they ain't getting no real good food. But in reality, I think it's cleaning out your colon, cleaning out your intestines, you know, and from there, then you can have an actual intuition towards something, a gut feeling. So that would be number one thing you could do. And that's what I said. I'm gonna keep this right around 20 minutes here, because I don't want to take away my whole day, because I want to get outside and get some sunshine, get a little tan before the sun is all gone, and get some melanin in my system. And I said I wanted to go deeper on all of this anyways, and make it a little more concise from the beginning about the gamma rays, and maybe I'll make it a little more informative. Maybe I'll just pull out my other computer and remove some shit off of there, and then make a video and do some graphs and things, and have like maybe put some extra video in there. Who knows? We'll see. Clizardo of Oz, where am I at? I'm in a house. Always in New Orleans. Uh, Interesting. So so Naveed. Okay, I hear what you're saying in that sense. It would be putting more water in the brain, doing inversions, getting your cerebral spinal fluid into the brain to clean the brain out. So the old unused data cells, like think about it in the form of a battery in your phone, or even just your computer system. If you have a bunch of just because you have a bunch of data doesn't mean it's useful or even organized. So you would just clean it out, and so you clean out your brain, a lot of water in there, and all of a sudden, then you have a clear lake or a clear pond in which reflection of memory, water, and light can actually sit in your brain. And because those new cells, they're not any bigger. They must be smaller. They become more compressed. But you could infinitely compress the brain unless you're considering the brain a cancer, which I don't by any means. Yeah, Meminori, there you go. Yeah, so just it goes back to using water to clean your brain out. And obviously there's a couple pressure points you can use. You can use massage technique. You can use yeah. So we'll get into all that later. But awesome, awesome, awesome. Maybe I'll put a I know I can add like a post where you guys can like answer a question and I'll ask what people are interested in talking about. Pine oil, yeah, pine oil and anything with pine in the name, right? Don't drink pine sol though. I don't think that's gonna be too good for you. Mm. All right, y'all. For whoever came late, feel free to go back to the beginning of the video and watch all that. And as I said, I'm gonna try to pretty soon do a longer, more maybe not longer, but a more compressed version of all of this here and add some fun shit to it. As I said at the beginning, this was kind of just spitballing off of a couple ideas I had. And as always, the plasma is your urine, so start drinking your goddamn piss. You know what I mean? There's a reason they say piss is green or yellow, whatever. And it's plasma. That will clean your brain right up. So have a beautiful day, and good to see you, Jimin. Good to see you, Naveed. And yeah, whoever else is here. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go get some sunshine on my person. Hopefully it doesn't rain. And we'll talk soon. Stay well. Do weird shit. I will.